Good evening, everyone. I'm Kamenenchev. Welcome to another edition of Red Wolves Live. Usually when you don't score the first half, you lose. But A-State has now won back-to-back games despite scoring 0 points in back-to-back first halves. The birthday boy, Blake Wynn, celebrated with the win. Blake, how was the homecoming environment tonight?
You just had to tell everybody, didn't you, Common? I tell you what, though, you know what? It was a pretty good birthday for me. I had to come out here and cover all of the action out here. But I'll tell you what, it was a great environment, great homecoming environment. Another great crowd out here, very similar to the crowd we saw in the last home game against Utah State. And another very, very good game. I think you said it well, though. Typically, you don't score in the first half, you don't win. The good news is the defense for Arkansas State played well enough that the other team didn't score as well. So I think overall a fantastic night for Arkansas State. Again, there's some points about the game that you could complain about, but overall a great second half for Freddie Knighton, a great first half for the defense. Just a good win overall for Arkansas State and that first conference win for the Red Wolves.
Thanks, Blake. Let's head straight to those highlights here in that win. After missing the past two games, Michael Gordon's back in the backfield, and the defense would be back to doing what they do best, dominate. First quarter, Chris Stone comes from behind to make the sack. Later, how about some more defense, and you guessed it, another sack. This time it's Xavier Woodson with the big hit, and there's the A-State sack. But the offense struggled early yet again tonight. Here, Freddie Knighton throws deep, and it's going to be tipped and intercepted by ULM's Mitch Lane. After no interceptions the first three games, Freddie's got one in back-to-back games. Michael Gordon showed some explosiveness tonight in his return. Here's a 13-yard run as he's forced out of bounds. Later in the drive, Luke Ferguson attempts a 23-yard field goal, but he misses, and his struggles would continue. We're still scoreless after the first quarter, and Freddie's fumbles would continue too. In the second quarter, Knighton fumbles again. ULM would recover in A-State territory. But get this, of course the ASU defense gets it back as Frankie Jackson forces the fumble and Q Lee comes up with it. Michael Gordon isn't the only player back from injury. Here, Kenny Raines makes a nice 15-yard catch. In fact, he catches it twice right there. But again, it wouldn't lead to points. Arkansas State's defense kept the team in the game as here, Caleb Caston comes from behind for yet another sack. The offense gets it back and finally gets going as Freddie finds J.D. McKissick, and J.D. makes some nice moves. Look at them go there, but he's eventually tripped down. The game would be scoreless at the half. Freddie would bounce back in the second half, though, and he'd get some help from Michael Gordon. As we're going to see the second half highlights in a second. There they are. Freddie Knighton's the quarterback right there. He'd bounce back, and there's Michael Gordon. He'd bounce back the second half, too. Look at this 68-yard run as he's going to be down all the way to the 3-yard line. He showed some flash and some speed there. Next play, Freddie does what he does best. Run the ball as he keeps it for a 3-yard score. And with 9:24 to go in the third quarter, we finally have a touchdown. 7-0 Red Wolves. Next offensive drive, Freddie does it through the air this time with a perfect pass and a nice sliding grab by Tyler Trozen, makes it 14-0 A-State. Early in the fourth, Freddie throws his second interception of the game. That would set up a ULM score. ASU's lead is down to just 14-7. But again, Freddie bounces back with his legs as he shows off his speed and heads to the house for a 29-yard touchdown. 21-7 Red Wolves. Later, ULM tries a fake punt, but look at this. No, Tress Houston says, no, you're not. He makes the big hit there, and you've got a problem there as Houston keeps him from getting the first down. Then more Freddie on the ground. This time he just about walks in from 12 yards out. That's his third rush TD of the half. A-State wins 28-14. All the points in this game came in the second half as Coach Anderson gets a kiss from his wife and starts his Sunbelt schedule with a win. Let's head to the stats. Despite two first-half turnovers, Freddie Knighton bounced back with 4 second-half touchdowns. Freddie finished with 284 passing yards and 71 rushing yards. Michael Gordon was great on the ground, too, with 168 rushing yards on just 15 carries in his return to the backfield. Arkansas State finishes with 572 total yards. J.D. McKissick had 120 receiving yards and is now the fourth A-State player to go over 2,000 career receiving yards. The offense was great the second half, but credit the defense for keeping them in the game. Xavier Woodson led that unit with 10 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and the sack. There you have it. The Red Wolves start Sunbelt play with the win. You've seen the highlights, but stay with us as you'll hear from Coach Anderson on tonight's win. That's next on Red Wolves Live.